Hey everybody, August Ritter here, Program Director for the Sustainability Accelerator here in Denver, Colorado with Michael Doane, who we're lucky to have in the office with us. Michael, I think most people probably know who you are at the Nature Conservancy, but for those who don't, what's your role at TNC?
Sure, August. So I lead our providing food and water sustainably priority. That's a mouthful, but it's one of our 4 priorities as an organization. It's really focused on how agriculture, food systems, and freshwater management can be a solution, if you will, for some of our conservation problems and challenges.
Awesome. And when did you start in that role? How long have you been with TNC?
Well, I've been on staff for about 4 years. I've been working in some of these areas for a while. I came into this specific role in March, so
Awesome.
just a few months ago. Yeah.
All right. And how are things going?
Great. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. We've got a great team, a lot of momentum, I would add, a lot of interest in these opportunities, so having a lot of fun.
This is a little bit of a mouthful of an answer. I mean, I think we could spend 2 hours talking about this, but just kind of where you stand, what are some of the biggest problems you're seeing that you think the Nature Conservancy needs to focus on tackling over the coming decades?
Yeah, well, it's been in the news a lot, but agriculture continues to drive a lot of habitat loss, deforestation, native habitat conversion. It's happening all over the world at unacceptable rates. We're also seeing lands that are in agriculture being slowly degraded through management practices. Also, we have freshwater systems that are degrading, eutrophied, from sediment or nutrients that are getting into these water bodies, overuse of water. Ag is the biggest user of water in the world. Now, all of this sounds overwhelming in a way, but what I'm optimistic about, having spent a lot of my time, so far professionally in these areas, is I actually see solutions coming to the fore. And so it's exciting to see solutions to how we start to reverse or change some of those issues, in our work.
And I imagine some of those solutions are policy solutions, some are behavior changes that need to be made. Wondering kind of quickly if you can talk a little bit about why you think the Nature Conservancy should be looking to innovation and particularly technological advancements. What role do they play in those solutions?
Yeah, so we're a science-based organization. I think we come at everything we do trying to understand the science of how the world works. And so then interpreting that into solutions is really taking that science, which keeps evolving, where we keep getting smarter about the ways of the world, the way the world works, and it's just fascinating. But now what we see are business models, people pursuing new innovative products and services that are meant to take that as science and apply it for these purposes. So, that's innovation in my mind. And that's what we need more of, is we need to have that science, which is, the foundation, translated into solutions.
Awesome. And, obviously we're here at the Sustainability Accelerator. We've got 10 companies in our cohort this year. Interestingly enough, I mean, really when you look at what the companies are doing, you could categorize 9 of them as being kind of in the area that are providing solutions within providing food and water sustainably priority, right? Wondering, you've met with a couple of those companies, wondering just a couple of quick takeaways from your meetings with them.
Well, first of all, I'm excited about how many of these have just happened to be in this food and water space, and so I'm grateful for that. And I also see that just more broadly. I mean, I think society understands right now that these are pressing issues. People are looking for solutions, so people that are trying to start new businesses are looking at where there are real challenges. Some of these are just right in the space that we're concerned about. How do we help farmers and ranchers manage for soil health? How do we start to track supply chains in ways that can be much more measurable, verifiable, and don't add a significant cost, but add a lot of credibility and management information so decision makers can make better decisions? So those are the kind of companies that are in this space. On freshwater, there's some really interesting companies here that are trying to help at the basin level, help managers make better decisions on water allocation. So, this is the stuff that we need to have happen to create solutions. And we're not going to do that alone. So this is, in a way, bringing a huge brain trust to our conservation mission.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more, but you say it much more eloquently than I could. Wondering if we could switch gears a little bit, just talking about, you have a new hire that just started, I think, on Monday, Renee Vassilos, right? Director of Ag Tech and Innovation.
Yep.
Why make that hire?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, this is probably one of the most, interesting decisions that I've, had the opportunity to participate in since I've been here. And, fundamentally, we're seeing that, donors want to go in this direction, staff want to go in this direction. We've already talked about why it's so important just to begin to kind of interface with this innovation ecosystem, which is increasingly coming up with companies and business models to attend to our conservation mission. So having a way to interface with that in a much more strategic and systematic way, that's what we're thinking about. Techstars is a wonderful start, and so Renee is going to be a part of assisting with the way our team works with Techstars. So we make sure we get all the benefit out of what's going on here, which is fantastic. But moreover, just philosophically, we have great projects that get cited, and one of the worst things for me to see is when a project ends and we realize that we were making progress, but now there's no more funding, and so we hope somebody carries it on. At the end of the day, our goals require somebody to make a business out of carrying those ideas forward. So that requires a business model, that requires capital, that requires some sort of value creation that makes it sustainable and makes it scalable. So that to me is really kind of the essence of what we're looking for, is more of those kind of projects that turn into somebody's business.
Love it. And Renee's really going to kind of spearhead that effort. I mean, that's one of her roles.
Yeah, and Renee brings a great perspective. She's worked in the ag sector on product development. She's worked in the ag tech space, consulting a lot of these companies that are trying to move forward. And so now she's coming to our team. And so in a way, we've got somebody that's got deep familiarity with the players, with the way the ecosystem works, and will help us have a very professional engagement with that ecosystem.
That's great. Well, kudos to you for making that hire. I think other priorities and other business units should be kind of thinking on the same terms, right? How do we take these forward, these projects that TNC is doing, and become less of the doer and more of the enabler? So hats off to you. Well, Michael, really appreciate your coming through today. It means a lot to have somebody engaged at your level. And for everybody else out there who's watching, tuning in, go to nature.org, type in Sustainability Accelerator. We'll be having lots of more information and updates coming there. And yeah, if there's companies that you see that you think you might be able to help, feel free to reach out to me. My email is aritter@tnc.org. Really appreciate the help. Let's create a sustainable future. Thanks all. Bye.